I've got shocking news straight from the heart of Britain's royal world. A marriage once seen as a modern-day fairy tale is now falling apart under the weight of drama and non-stop attention. Can you believe that one small slip-up in the paperwork might have set off a chain of chaos for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? One administrative mistake, that's all it took to spark claims of mismanagement, a serious legal showdown, and whispers of a royal separation that nobody saw coming. Princess Anne, the no-nonsense force of the monarchy, just dropped a statement that's shaking the palace to its core. This isn't just random gossip, it feels like a carefully timed unraveling. Every move, every silence, every no comment adds to the pressure building behind those royal walls. Right now, lawyers are rushing to control the narrative, palace insiders are murmuring behind closed doors, and the public can't stop asking, what really happened? Before we break down the storm, the leaked files, the behind-the-scenes meetings, and the secret alliances, make sure you're subscribed and notifications are on. The royal media machine is already spinning at full speed, trying to keep this story buried before it blows up online. It all began quietly, with a standard review in California's charity registry. Just another day, another file, or so it seemed. But then came silence, the kind that builds right before something big breaks. Reports say the Archwell Foundation, Harry and Meghan's main nonprofit, was suddenly marked as inactive, and that's when everything started to spiral. It wasn't just a late payment. The Archwell Foundation was officially blocked from raising or using any funds. Imagine that, a charity built on doing good suddenly brought to a stop. Something clearly went wrong behind those polished statements and glowing press releases. What was really going on beneath the surface? Here's where it gets wild. Sources close to the situation say this wasn't just a small mistake. Some insiders whispered that the Sussexes might have leaned too heavily on their royal image, blurring the line between public good and personal promotion. Anonymous voices even claim that some of the foundation's global projects doubled as ways to boost the couple's personal brand, and that caught attention on both sides of the Atlantic. When the official notice hit in early May 2024, it triggered a chain reaction, reviews, financial checks, and a full-scale inquiry. People who were there described the moment as electric, like everyone suddenly realized this was bigger than they thought. One California insider reportedly said it felt like opening a Pandora's box in Montecito. The notice was crystal clear. The foundation was prohibited from collecting or distributing funds and risked suspension if the issues weren't fixed fast. Just picture it. Harry and Meghan's well-known charity suddenly stopped in its tracks. Fast forward to when the palace finally stepped in. Buckingham Palace had been quietly watching everything unfold, but this situation pushed things past the breaking point. Anonymous royal insiders claimed there were urgent calls flying back and forth across the Atlantic, dates, strategies, even talk of direct involvement. But then, Princess Anne cut through the noise with her signature firmness. Her statement wasn't soft or diplomatic, it hit like a thunderclap. She confirmed that questions around the use of royal connections through Meghan's Archwell Foundation are now being reviewed by legal advisors. And then came the jaw-dropper. Reports say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex agreed to part ways, with more details promised at an official royal press conference. Just like that, the monarchy drew its boundary loud and clear. Why Princess Anne? Because she's the one known for keeping things in line. She had warned early on that Meghan's independent style might eventually clash with royal expectations. Insiders now say Anne saw the foundation's struggles as more than just financial. She believed they revealed deeper issues within the couple's royal transition. Her statement, delivered with her trademark calm but unmistakable edge, wasn't just a formality. It sounded like a royal reset, both personal and professional. To really understand how it got to this point, we've got to look back. The Archwell Foundation launched in 2020 with huge excitement, promising to inspire kindness and empower communities around the world. Harry and Meghan called it their new legacy, separate from the monarchy, but still carrying their influence. But cracks started showing early on. Reports show donations fell sharply, from about $13 million in 2021 to just $2 million in 2022, with losses topping $674,000. Behind the royal walls, quiet tension started building. Palace insiders noticed growing unease, with internal notes quietly warning about possible conflicts. Reports claimed the Archwell Foundation might have been relying too heavily on the Sussex name without enough oversight, and that caught attention fast. California regulators stepped in, and on May 3, 2024, an official notice was sent out marking the charity as inactive. Sources later shared that a $200 renewal payment had supposedly been mailed, but never processed, which triggered the entire issue. But once the review began, investigators found more red flags, especially surrounding recent global events and partnerships, including work with major organizations like Giants of Africa. All of this unfolded under a growing spotlight, adding serious pressure. What really concerned royal circles most was how the line between royal representation and private projects seemed to blur. Princess Anne's concern reportedly grew stronger over Harry's final years in the UK. She had once advised Meghan to treat the charitable work like a professional commitment, not a publicity platform. But as Archwell expanded, so did the perception that its reach was stretching too far, and those early warnings were brushed aside. One longtime staffer even said he saw this coming from day one. The inactive status only confirmed Anne's long-held worries. When UK authorities started asking questions, quiet talk of donor confusion began to spread, especially among supporters who believed they were contributing to royal-linked causes. A separate federal review in Florida reportedly surfaced similar administrative concerns, although unrelated to Samantha Markle's earlier court dispute, which had already been dismissed back in March 2024, with an appeal expected in 2025. But the real issue here was the charity's transparency and governance. While California's Department of Justice later confirmed Archwell's status was restored once the issue was fixed, the reputation hit was hard to shake. Inside royal circles, some viewed the entire episode as casting a shadow over the family's image. Meghan's return to Hollywood started picking up serious momentum after 2024, and by 2025, whispers of an impending split were everywhere. Insiders claimed that the charity controversy became the final breaking point. Behind closed doors, tense arguments reportedly broke out over responsibility and reputation, leaving Harry torn between standing by his wife and protecting the royal name. Princess Anne, ever the strategist, played a crucial role during this storm. She became the steady voice of the monarchy, saying what King Charles couldn't publicly express. Her statement, which later leaked, reportedly linked the separation directly to the ongoing legal scrutiny surrounding Archwell. Sources even suggested that firm choices were made behind the scenes: step back from public ventures or risk major exposure. That one simple notice from May 2024, it spiraled into a full-blown legal saga. By mid-2025, California's Attorney General had intensified the review, filing a major civil case connected to the foundation's handling of its branding and operations. Court documents, made public during a dramatic hearing, painted a complex picture, one suggesting that the charity's outreach may have blurred the lines between philanthropy and personal projects. The accusations revolved around how fundraising campaigns were presented, with questions raised about whether royal associations were being referenced too closely. Legal experts warned that this crossed into risky territory under nonprofit regulations. The potential consequences were no joke: major financial penalties, the threat of the foundation reputation being suspended, and personal accountability from Meghan that could impact her business ventures in Hollywood. Insiders described deep-dive audits that lasted months, with financial investigators going line by line through records. They reportedly found inconsistencies in spending, especially where some charity projects overlapped with the couple's media work, including their well-known Netflix and Spotify collaborations. One insider close to the Attorney General's office described the review like this: "It was like peeling an onion, layer after layer of influence, where donation money seemed to be doing a lot more than just good deeds. The deeper investigators looked, the more complicated things appeared. Picture those high-profile trips, like the events in Nigeria with Giants of Africa, and the questions that surfaced about Archwell's politically linked donations in early 2025. Critics started claiming the foundation was drifting from its original show-up-and-do-good mission into territory that felt more strategic than charitable." The legal case also echoed the ongoing family drama. Samantha Markle's appeal in her defamation dispute reignited in September 2025 at the 11th Circuit Court, with her lawyers revisiting Meghan's Oprah interview and Netflix series, arguing that certain portrayals hurt her reputation. The judges didn't dismiss the matter outright, keeping the case alive and adding even more attention to an already tense situation. Meghan's legal team hit back hard, insisting that all of Archwell's actions followed proper regulations and that any issues came down to simple administrative mix-ups, like that notorious unprocessed check from 2024. But despite the explanations, the investigations kept rolling into 2026, keeping Montecito under an unrelenting spotlight. Meanwhile, inside the palace, the response was immediate and cold. Reports say the royal family began creating distance fast, treating the entire situation like it needed careful containment. Behind closed doors, whispers claim King Charles held late-night talks with Princess Anne, trying to figure out how to keep any damage from spreading to other royal-linked charities. Princess Anne's announcement brought everything together, framing the legal turmoil as the final spark behind the separation. "A clean break protects the institution," she reportedly stated, a line that perfectly reflected her longtime doubts about Meghan's modern take on royal life and fame. Sources close to the palace say Anne saw the Archwell controversy, including that tense April 2025 fallout with a women's organization in Milwaukee over policy disagreements, as proof that things had spiraled far from stability. Harry's reaction, according to insiders, was one of heartbreak and confusion. Those close to him described a man torn in two, caught between his loyalty to family and his desire to stand by Meghan. In private emails and late-night calls, he fiercely defended Archwell, calling it a symbol of independence and insisting that its mission hadn't changed. But the constant pressure from royal circles, magnified by the legal spotlight, only deepened the cracks. The weight of expectation, public image, and royal duty became impossible to balance. By late 2025, the strain had reached its peak. Court insiders quietly confirmed that divorce filings were submitted discreetly in California that November. The paperwork cited irreconcilable differences, but those following the story knew there was much more behind the headlines. Soon, talk of the couple leading separate lives began spreading fast. Meghan was seen a few times in Montecito appearing emotional during outings, sparking even more speculation online. Betting sites even started predicting a confirmed split before the end of the year, odds climbing to 150 to 1 as public attention exploded. Every new headline felt like another crack in the fragile shell of their once celebrated relationship. This wasn't just about legal filings, it was the slow unraveling of a dream that began with one small, overlooked detail. The emotional impact was undeniable, echoing from the quiet streets of Montecito to the royal corridors of Windsor. What started as a bold love story Harry, the spare, breaking from tradition, and Meghan, the actress who became a duchess, now seemed weighed down by the long shadow of the Archwell controversy. Whispers that were once dismissed as gossip started sounding all too real, painting a picture of two people living in separate worlds. By mid-2025, the rumors were everywhere, with every sighting turning into a new clue. Harry was spotted alone at polo matches in Aspen, his expression calm but distant, almost reflective. Meanwhile, Meghan continued her solo appearances on Hollywood red carpets, her poise flawless, though some said her eyes told a different story. Anonymous insiders told outlets like Radar Online that the couple's separation wasn't just about geography, it was emotional distance too. Harry, they said, longed for his UK connections, his Invictus games, and the family roots he could never quite let go of. Meghan, on the other hand, had her focus locked on building her brand, with her lifestyle company American Riviera Orchard and high-profile partnerships keeping her constantly in the media spotlight. One close friend reportedly confided that the space between them wasn't just physical, it was emotional. They described separate trips, growing tension over how the media portrayed their story, and even quiet talk about potential book deals centered around their split. Then came the official notice, a single piece of paperwork that hit like a lightning bolt out of nowhere. What should have been just a small administrative mix-up suddenly blew up into a full-scale emotional storm behind closed doors. Harry reportedly brushed it off as nothing more than a lost check, a clerical slip that got way too much attention. But Meghan saw it differently. She suspected something deeper, maybe even interference from critics or internal leaks trying to stir up trouble. Sources described the atmosphere as tense and heartbreaking. Harry was said to be pleading for calm and unity, while Meghan pushed for clear accountability and answers. By the fall of 2025, the stress had taken its toll. The therapy sessions that once offered hope couldn't mend the growing divide. Even the best relationship experts in California couldn't bridge the emotional distance that was forming with every new headline. And then came the moment that changed everything. Princess Anne reportedly took Harry aside during a brief visit to the UK and spoke to him in her no-nonsense tone. According to insiders, her message was firm: choose your responsibility to family and tradition or stay lost in the ongoing chaos. Those words, later whispered through palace circles, struck deep. This isn't just about you anymore, it's about the legacy being left behind. Not long after that conversation, the paperwork for their separation was quietly filed in a California court in late November 2025. The goal was to keep things respectful and balanced despite the storm around them. Reports say that custody arrangements for their two children were designed carefully, ensuring both parents shared time equally, with visits split between Montecito's sunlit estates and Harry's secure UK stays. Financially, the agreement was handled with precision. Meghan retained full ownership of her business ventures and brand deals, while Harry took over the restructured Archwell operations, focusing on giving it a fresh start. Harry turned his full attention to his Invictus projects, pouring everything into the cause that had always meant the most to him. Yet behind the polished legal agreements and public smiles, the emotional weight lingered like a quiet fog that wouldn't lift. Insiders described late-night phone calls filled with emotion, moments of reflection, and silent regrets over how something so hopeful had spiraled out of control. Friends say he would sometimes sit alone, looking through old photos and quietly asking himself, "What if?" Meghan, ever determined, pushed forward with her trademark resilience, diving into new ventures and creative projects. Still, those close to her whispered about her private struggles, the exhaustion, the loneliness, and the weight of starting over while the world kept watching. This wasn't just a breakup, it was a deep emotional unraveling, one that left invisible marks both inside the palace and beyond. Behind closed royal doors, the air grew heavy. Whispers turned into strategy sessions as senior members of the family began closing ranks. Princess Anne reportedly took the lead, joined by Prince William and Duchess Sophie, forming a tight inner circle sworn to protect the monarchy's image from further fallout. Sources described intense late-night meetings inside the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, discussions that stretched into the early hours, where files on Archwell's finances were examined line by line. The mood, they said, was charged, a mix of caution, frustration, and determination to steady the royal ship. One aide, speaking anonymously, summed it up perfectly. It felt like history repeating itself, the institution protecting itself first, no matter who got left behind. The sense of urgency was palpable as the family prepared to move forward while carefully managing the aftermath of one of the most public royal breakups of the modern era. It felt like uncovering a wound that had been quietly building for years. Inside royal circles, the Archwell controversy, from the charity's brief inactive status to the questions around its operations, wasn't viewed as just a series of mistakes. It was seen as a direct challenge to the monarchy's core values and reputation. Princess Anne's message came sharp and clear. There would be no reconciliation without complete accountability and reform. She reportedly stood firm, repeating the same belief she'd held from the very beginning, that royal life isn't about fame or glamour, but about commitment and service. Those who knew Anne said she had warned Meghan early on that life inside the royal family came with structure, duty, and responsibility, not shortcuts or personal branding. Queen Camilla, ever graceful in public, maintained her usual calm appearance, but whispers inside the palace suggested she felt uneasy about Meghan's continuing public presence. Sources said she worried that the ongoing attention around the Sussexes could shake the stability King Charles had worked so hard to restore. The king himself was said to be deeply affected, visibly weighed down by regret as he increasingly turned to Anne for guidance and clarity. Leaked accounts from those private family discussions painted Anne as unflinching. She reportedly told the group, "This situation challenges everything the monarchy represents. We stand for trust, not headlines." Those words echoed through the palace, a reflection of the skepticism she had carried since the couple first stepped onto the royal stage back in 2018. Meanwhile, outside the palace walls, the social landscape began to shift. Many of Hollywood's once loyal allies quietly backed away as the legal reviews around Archwell continued to dominate coverage. The echoes of Samantha Markle's ongoing legal appeal, once dismissed but revived in 2025, intensified the public spotlight. Inside Montecito, the atmosphere reportedly grew quiet and heavy as old friends began to pull away and the once bustling social circle faded. Rumors of separation kept spreading, with whispers predicting a possible 2026 split. Meanwhile, Buckingham Palace tightened its inner circle, determined to protect the monarchy's image, while quietly questioning whether such deep divisions could ever truly heal without risking its stability. When Princess Anne made her powerful public statement, the impact was immediate and explosive. The announcement didn't just cause ripples, it sent shockwaves around the world. The Sussexes' once glowing reputation took a sharp hit. Polls from late 2025 showed their public favorability in the UK dropping to around 22%, down from nearly double that before the controversy began. In stark contrast, Princess Anne's popularity soared, climbing to an impressive 68%, as many hailed her as the monarchy's steady voice of truth. Social media platforms erupted in real time. Hashtags like Royal Reckoning, Archwell crisis and Sussex split trended for days, racking up more than 50 million posts within the first week. Viral threads dissected every chapter of the unfolding drama, from the initial charity filing issue to the later financial reviews, while users flooded comment sections with endless debates and theories. Even the press went into overdrive. Some tabloids painted Archwell as misguided but ambitious, while others criticized the blending of royal prestige with Hollywood business ventures. The Daily Mail ran pieces questioning the foundation's transparency, while The Guardian explored whether the couple's vision blurred the lines between service and self-promotion. Across the Atlantic, the New York Times published a widely shared op-ed calling it a modern royal cautionary tale. Celebrities couldn't resist weighing in either. Some offered empathy and support, while others kept their distance, wary of getting pulled into what had become one of the most public royal crises in recent history. Oprah, once one of Meghan and Harry's most trusted supporters, chose to remain silent, a silence that spoke volumes. Meanwhile, outspoken commentator Piers Morgan took to his show celebrating what he called the end of the Sussex chapter, fueling even more debate online. Over in Nigeria, where the couple had previously promoted partnerships, local media expressed frustration, with one outlet bluntly asking, "Was our goodwill taken for granted?" The controversies only seemed to grow as the legal battles deepened. The California investigation ramped up fast, with authorities calling for complete transparency regarding Archwell's finances and even hinting at reviewing connected business ventures, including media deals with major streaming platforms. Reports claimed the goal was to ensure every dollar aligned with non-profit regulations. In response, Meghan's legal team filed a countersuit, alleging unfair treatment and ongoing media pressure, saying the original issue was nothing more than an administrative glitch that had been blown out of proportion by critics. Still, whispers of additional reviews surfaced, focusing on activities from 2025, including a dispute involving a small product collaboration linked to streaming content. The details remained murky, but the buzz surrounding it only intensified the ongoing scrutiny. Meanwhile, Samantha Markle's revived defamation appeal continued to shadow the narrative, reignited in late 2025 after judges reopened portions of the case for further review. As the divorce details finally became official, a press conference outside Buckingham Palace drew massive global attention. Palace representatives described the separation as mutual, citing irreconcilable differences, while highlighting their shared commitment to co-parenting their two children, Archie and Lilibet, with care and stability. The tone was calm and measured, clearly meant to project control and compassion in equal measure, but cameras caught more than words. Observers noted Princess Anne's firm expression during the announcement, a quiet look that many interpreted as relief, or perhaps the reassurance of a royal institution reasserting its steadiness after years of turbulence. Whispers about their separate lives refused to fade. Harry became increasingly rooted in the UK, quietly navigating visa questions and royal obligations, while Meghan stayed in Montecito, focusing on her growing lifestyle brand and solo media projects. Reports from Radar Online suggested the couple's paths were drifting further apart, with talk of reconciliation fading fast. By the end of the year, speculation about their future reached a fever pitch, and the media couldn't get enough of the story. Public opinion, however, began to swing sharply back toward the royal family. Online discussions buzzed day and night, people debating whether the palace had acted fairly or gone too far. Commentators seemed to agree on one thing: the monarchy had successfully reclaimed the narrative. What once felt like a public relations nightmare for the royals had turned into a strategic rebound, leaving Harry and Meghan more isolated in the court of public opinion than ever before. So what's next for the monarchy? Insiders now predict a leaner, more tightly managed royal structure, a modernized crown that Princess Anne has reportedly been advocating behind the scenes. Harry's distance from royal life seems to be growing, while Meghan continues building her independent ventures and expanding her brand across the Atlantic. Sources close to the palace say Anne's steady hand has helped preserve royal unity, standing by her long-time warning to protect the crown above all else. But was all this destined to happen? And how should Anne's role be seen? As the savior who stabilized the monarchy, or the enforcer who drew the final line? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop your opinions in the comments below. Do you think the royal split was inevitable, or could things have gone differently? If you don't want to miss the next royal revelation, make sure to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share it with your friends. The next royal twist could break any day now, and trust me, the story of the Sussexes is far from over. The next chapter might just flip everything you thought you knew about the royals.